Hello and welcome to Stateside. My name is Graham Hughes. Welcome everyone into the chat. If you would like to join Tim and Diz and Chris C and Al Roan, Richard Grumpy Git and others in the chat. Saz is in there. Benjamin, how you all doing? MZ, how you doing? We've also got Blue Badger 88. If you'd like to join them in the chat, all you need to do is press the subscribe button. Just the once. You don't need to press it twice. I don't know why that came up twice. I'm having one of those days. Why did that come up twice? I can't even see why that would have done that. I don't know why I did it. Anyway, but yeah, 2 reasons to subscribe. 1, you're gonna be able to join the chat, and 2, that's about it. It'll help. It'll help. So yes, we're going to be jumping into the chat in a moment. We're going to be joined tonight by Scott, who's going to be joining us from London. He is an American, but he lives in the UK because he's a sensible American. Got to be sensible these days. There's a lot of crazies out there, but he's going to be a few minutes coming along. Obviously, the debate this afternoon, which I thought would maybe last a few minutes, lasted over 3 hours. So I was a little bit distracted by that. But now we're going to be talking about America. Okay, we're going to be talking about Trump making a killing. I reckon. This is my theory. Tell me I'm wrong, but I think he's working on a $1 trillion heist. That's what he's trying to do at the moment. This is the wholesale transformation of the USA into a kleptocracy. The rule by the thieves, which is what he's trying to do. He's making a killing in more ways than one because he's actually killing people. I predict that he is going to steal billions. He's already stolen probably equivalent of that. I think he's going to get to the point where he steals over at least $100 billion from the American taxpayer. I think that could go up to $1 trillion. I genuinely believe that could go up to $1 trillion. Quite easily, stunningly easily. Scarily easily, in fact. So what can we do? Not much. On top of that, I think he's going to result in the deaths of millions of people around the world, not just in America, but people around the world who they've either taken US aid away from, taken support away from their governments, taken any kind of charity away from people who are relying on that charity to survive, but also taking away benefits from his own people, taking away Medicare and Medicaid, destroying the Department of Education, destroying any hope of getting any mental health support for people, destroying the CDC in America so that any new novel diseases end up, killing millions rather than just a few thousand. And the wars to come are going to kill a few people as well. Pretty sure of that. So what's he done so far? He's a quick summary. He's halted the enforcement of FCPA. And what that is the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. He did this a few weeks ago. He's also dismantled the beneficial ownership registry. He's obviously pardoned the over 1,500 January the 6th terrorists, and he's publicly undermined judicial independence. So let's talk about the death of anti-corruption first. He's ended the enforcement of the FCPA. This is the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. It previously stood as a cornerstone of US global anti-bribery law. Critics warn that doing this is going to greenlight bribery by US companies. Who benefits then? Well, corporations, oligarchs. Do you know who doesn't benefit? Us. Americans, British people, normal people who aren't millionaires. Doesn't benefit us at all. Then you've got Pam Bondi, purge of the Department of Justice, the DOJ. She's disbanded Kleptocracy and anti-Kleptocracy task force. The task forces. Well, obviously she wants to do that because they're standing in the way of what she wants to do, which is help Trump to create a kleptocracy in America. She's reassigned staff to priorities like drug cartels, despite there being an overlap there, and she's shut down the enforcement of the Foreign Agents Registration Act. So no longer do Russian, Soviet, Kremlin agents, the FSB or whatever the KGB is calling itself these days, agents working in America to poison Americans to death, like they did with the British woman, Dawn Sturgis, who they murdered on British soil with a Russian nerve agent. And the usual suspects were running around. Do you remember the usual suspects running around going, might not have been Russia, you know. That's not the kind of thing Russia would do. I mean, anyone can make Novichok. Tell me you don't know anything about chemical weapons without telling me that you know nothing about chemical weapons. I mean, the idea that you could make it in a British university, in a British lab, after hours, and then clean everything up the next morning for the school to come in and learn stuff in the lab that you've just made this deadly nerve agent in. Yeah, a little bit far-fetched. A little bit far-fetched. That deadly nerve agent that only the Soviets know how to make. Yeah. And then we've got the selling out of the state in America, the $5 million golden visa, selling US citizenships to foreign billionaires, and the suspension of the Corporate Transparency Act. This was previously aimed to unmask anonymous shell companies. Trump called it an economic menace, and critics are saying this is a gift to money launderers. Great. And then shell companies are now back in business, especially in Delaware, Nevada, Wyoming, and other places. And then you've got the Trump-Musk power struggle. The recent meltdown that we've had with Marco Rubio over government layoffs and control. Trump trying to appease both sides. But, apart from a slight pullback of Doge's unchecked power, Musk is still seen as above the law. He's had his unelected kids who are working for him, who have no qualifications and no security clearance. He's had them force their way into buildings with elected people in them. He's had them force their way into buildings with agencies that are not paid by the government. They're not federal government. They may have been set up by Ronald Reagan back in the day, like the Institute of Peace, but they run as their own thing. They don't actually run as part of the government, and they're not paid by taxpayers' money. And yet Doge managed to get in there, which is just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. And talking of being absolutely mind-blowing, I'm just suddenly aware of a presence. It's Scott. How you doing, Scott, mate? How you doing? This is Scott Williams from scottwilliams.com. Hey, how you doing, mate?
from just being around.
Just being around.
I'm good. I'm just around.
Love it.
I have to admit, I have been very much like running around trying to get everything, so I just sit down and like, right, okay, let's go. I do apologize.
Well, I feel you, mate.
Are we online?
Yeah, we're online. We're streaming.
Okay.
We're streaming. No, I had a stream today, a watch party. I thought it would go for like half an hour or something, or an hour. It went for 3 hours, Scott. 3 hours. I had to leave halfway through and take my stepdaughter, drop her off, and then drive back, and then continue on with the show. But yeah, so I've just wolfed some food down my face very fast.
What were you watching?
The debate on rejoining the EU. That was triggered by that petition that went out. So it was quite good. You know Alex from Political X. He was in the room. He was in the room where it happened. Yeah, and so was Louise Brown. It's one of our mates from Northeast for Europe.
Excellent.
Still fighting the good fight. Louise joined us. She was going to join us last year. She joined us on the panel. That's right, for when we were in Liverpool for the Labour Party conference last year. We did an unofficial fringe panel on the EU and the road back to Europe. And she joined us on that. So that was cool, seeing some old mates. I was texting them because they were on the screen. So I got my phone out, so I was texting them jokes and stuff to make them laugh. And then I saw them laugh on the screen. I was like, they just read my joke. I could joke. Anyway, we're talking about Trump's kleptocracy, as in rule by the stealers, run by the people who thieves stuff. I was just talking about Musk and his Doge powers going into government departments and breaking into the offices of elected representatives and also breaking into the offices of not companies, but institutions like the what's it called? I just said it. The thing for peace. Shit.
The aid the aid people.
Yeah, no, there's the.
Oh no, the Department of Peace.
It's not called a department, is it? It's called something else. The Institute of Peace. Scott, do you reckon you could knock your sound up a little bit? You're quite quiet. I don't know if you can.
It's a private company. It's not actually a government company, and he has it in his brain
Charity.
that it is charity.
Yeah.
He had it in his head that it totally is, and that he had every right to go in there. They were all pushing him away, and he was just going, "No, I'm coming in." And then eventually he broke in.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, does just being the friend of the president, exact immunity from breaking and entering? It's insane, and I think that there needs to be a moment where a policeman goes, "No." No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to just break into what is not a government department and threaten people.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's maddening. It's absolutely maddening that he's done this, and he thinks he's going to get away with it as well.
No, well, he is getting away with it.
The law has a long memory on stuff like this.
Oh yeah, but at the moment, he's totally getting away with everything.
Yeah.
And it was quite frightening to listen to. I was listening to Matt Fry yesterday on LBC, and he was talking to Simon.
Got Mikey.
Marks. Oh, Mikey is here. Hey,
Mikey, how you doing, mate?
Yo,
are you okay?
Yeah.
Hello. Got Mikey as well. I didn't know you were coming, mate.
I know.
Sorry, Scott. You were halfway through saying something.
He was talking. I was listening to Matt Fry on LBC. He was talking to Simon Marks. He was the U.S. correspondent for LBC, and
I like him.
Yes, me too. He's very, very good.
Do you know Simon Marks, Mikey?
He's a British.
What's he look like?
I don't know what he looks like, but he's on LBC and he's the American correspondent on LBC.
He is actually a very gray white guy, but he's got very gray hair. So yeah, that's all I can remember from it. Other than that, he's pretty nondescript, just white. Just a white guy.
Do all white guys look the same to you, Scott?
Yeah, yes, they do.
I don't know.
In all seriousness, so yeah, it was, he's talking, and Matt Fry's asking him questions. He said, he goes, "Would you say it's turning into an authoritarian regime?"
Yeah.
And Simon Marks says, "No, it is an authoritarian regime. It's happening now, and the world needs to wake up to it." He's, and he's pointing it out. He's going, Donald Trump is not going to Congress with anything. It's executive order this, executive order that, and he's trying to skip Congress.
Yeah.
Literally ignoring judges, which is the other branch of government, literally ignoring them and doing exactly as he pleases with complete immunity.
Yeah.
No one is saying shit to him.
Yeah.
And there's something very wrong with that.
Now that Mikey's here, we were talking about Trump's kleptocracy and then, the fact that they're stealing. I think their aim is to steal $1 trillion. It's a bit like Dr. Evil, isn't it? He's like, I will steal $1 trillion.
4.3 trillion.
Yeah. But before we get into that, I just wanted to mention Pete Hegseth, who's now in charge of the Army of America, the military of America, the Department of Defense. He was in a WhatsApp chat group. Yeah, the one we're in, where we make jokes about Aid's dad. He was in one of them.
I don't.
Testiclay, yeah.
And they were talking about very sensitive national security stuff, i.e. the bombing of Yemen to try and take out some Houthi rebels who are apparently pirating off the coast of Yemen. Unfortunately for them, it wasn't a closed chat. There was a journalist for The Atlantic included on the chat. And they gave 2 hours before the strike, they were talking about the strike.
Can I just say one name? Hillary Clinton.
Are you saying she sent emails from her personal server?
I think that was the case. Yes.
Oh my
And she
God.
was raked over the coals for it
Yeah.
for fucking years.
And they released all the documents. It was a bit like the JFK release of loads of documents, and there was nothing in there.
There really wasn't anything in there.
The only thing it proved is that Hillary Clinton's the most boring person to have ever lived.
Literally that. Mind you, I think she's a bit of a badass. And not for anything political. I just like the fact that she stayed with her husband and she didn't give a shit about the fact that he was getting blown by interns, and and the fact that it's so obvious they have some sort of weird open relationship and no one ever talks about it. Anyway,
do you think she's a lesbian? Do you think
I don't know about all
prefers
that.
the company of ladies?
Oh, listen, I ain't trying to get sued. Okay, I don't know about all of that, but I.
Oh, Scott.
Hi.
I
like hanging out with them down the pub, but I don't need them in my bed afterwards. Just saying. Unless we're chilling and watching, like, a rom-com together. But anyway, I don't watch rom-coms.
Yes, you do. No, lies. He knows every word to Love Actually.
You brought him up. Of course you watch.
I know. I'm just thinking that's what girls like, right?
Yeah. Mikey, how's this?
Mikey, fucking stop digging myself a hole.
I'm trying to get in, but you're just blocking the path.
Like, yeah, stop hole blocking.
Scott, I'm trying to help you. I couldn't even. I was trying to joke you out of it.
Mikey, can you tell us how the news of Pete Hegseth, because this came out this afternoon, didn't it? How's this news going down in the States? Are the MAGA lot going, yeah, that's the kind of thing we do, yo?
You know, the funny thing is, because I needed to find some clips for something else, for the bin, I just like pulled up the Fox News like YouTube homepage. They just don't tell people.
Oh wow!
Like they'll just double down on like they'll just rehash like an old Obama clip or something. They literally don't tell them. Like they just like go to their like if you go to their like homepage and it's like their biggest stories that they want out there so they can get clicks and money from it or whatever. They just don't mention any of the bad shit. And that Elon thing that we were talking about on Friday or whatever, they pulled it off of their website. It's gone.
Oh really?
So the one the one with Sean Hannity talking to Elon, it's gone. They just pulled it off.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that on Friday. Yeah, that's the whole crybaby interview is over.
Yeah, they just got rid of it.
But does it still exist? Do people take copies of it and it's floating around the internet still?
Yeah, we keep it. I mean, it's on our show already. So, but they'll just like, what I mean? They'll just act like that didn't happen, or and then people like that's a fake video. It's like, no, dog, that happened. Your boys just pulled it. So let's see what's in. So let's see what the Fox News that's are learning today.
I saw. I was.
It's got no views.
I was in my living room. Gary, my brother, was watching Sky, and I saw like he's got the running headlines down at the bottom, the Sky News, and apparently Elon Musk is now complaining that he gets death threats daily.
Oh no!
I know. It's almost like he's a woman on the internet.
Well, it's almost like he's a trans woman.
On the internet.
Yeah, it's almost as though he's a trans woman, like his daughter, who he says is dead, while he spreads his disgusting anti-trans rhetoric, putting trans women's lives in danger. Gobshite. So yeah, he's gonna have to live in fear of the rest of his life. He is. He has built his own cross. And I don't know how you can actually do this. I don't know how you get the last nail in, but he's actually managed to crucify himself on a cross that he built for his own back.
Here's like one of the bigger the bigger videos that they've had today. Democrats under fire for jihad against Tesla. They're pro-terrorism now.
Did they cause
So,
$3 million worth of damage, like what the Trump supporters did on January the 6th? And nine
this is
people died.
so here's the thing. They can try to spin this any way they like, but when them checks stop showing up, there ain't gonna be a Democrat and like, dude, we already like the town halls are already bubbling over to the point where AOC and Bernie is 900 years old and he can still pull 15,000 people on a Wednesday. Like people are pissed.
I
Like
heard it's more than that. I've heard it is literally like, from what I understood, it is like 50,000 people are showing up to these.
well, that'd be like the Saturday one, but
Yeah, but like that's
I'm just saying on like a
insane.
random
That's a
on a
lot of people. That's a stadium.
So has Bernie Sanders been teaching Jedi for 800 years, or has he been guarding the Grail for 600 years?
well, I mean, he came in as an independent and then for what almost 11 years he couldn't get any kind of cooperation from the Democrats at all because he wasn't in the clique, he wasn't in the crew, and then he like caucuses with us now, but you know what I mean, like that was never his party anyway. So it's good to see that. Maybe just some good old fashioned pay the bills and make sure people have their services might be a winning message. Who knows? Who knows? But we heard Tom Tillis's voicemails. I'm sure Elon's getting lit up in his DMs and all that shit. Dude, get used to it, man. This is what you wanted. This is
This is what
America.
you signed up for.
You can't
guys,
just offend Americans and them not offend your ass right the fuck back.
I'm
So-
very
Well, this
glad
is it.
that this anti-Tesla stuff's going down, but I have to push back a little bit about the numbers of people turning out for like AOC.
You always
and
have
Bernie.
something to say about that,
That's
though.
what I've heard. I
Look,
don't know if it's on.
okay,
You want-
let's
you want a million
let's
people
say-
every day.
Let's say it was 50,000, right? Well,
Yeah.
in Belgrade, in Serbia, the other day we had 325,000 people turn out against
That's
the
crazy.
government in Belgrade. They only have a population of 6.6 million people. That would be the equivalent in America, considering how many more people live in America, of 16 million people coming out, 5% of the population coming out onto the streets. And I
How
think
big
that's
is- how
the
big
kind
is
of
that place?
size you need.
How
What,
big is that
Serbia?
place?
It's tiny.
Yeah. Well, where the people are I know they don't live in all four corners of the.
Oh, well, they're all in Belgrade, but
Well-
in America they wouldn't all have to be in the same place.
I'm just saying though. Like we live in a very big country. So to
I
get
know,
everybody
but
to
if
come
ev-
into the same place.
If 500,000
A big
people
ass.
turned out in each state, yeah, brilliant. I mean, well, I don't think 500,000 people are going to turn out in Wyoming because there's not 500,000 people in Wyoming. But you know,
No.
a boy can dream.
I don't know. That's what I heard. I heard that they were pulling ridiculous numbers, but then I'm not there counting that. I don't know for sure.
And he asks if Bernie is Gandalf, then is Schumer Saruman.
I wouldn't go that far.
I would.
Would you?
There is only one Lord of the Rings, and he does not share power.
And then they have the wizard battle up in the tower in Orthanc Tower. Yeah, I'm with it. Someone get on the photo or on the Premiere Pro and start putting those faces on there because that would be fun.
Or he was like the mouth of Sauron rather than actual Sauron himself.
So Chuck Schumer, Mikey, do you think he's gonna last? Do you think there's gonna be? What's the mechanism for getting rid of him? By the way, that's what I want to know.
Gotta wait till the election. That's the only way to get rid of him. But people can put a lot of pressure on him to resign. Like if they have, like if everybody on the Dem side just like pulls him to the side, I'm like, look, man, you need to just go.
But isn't
You
there a
either need to
mechanism
go
for,
or we're gonna no.
not for not making him a senator? I mean, for not making him the minority leader.
I mean, they might do that. They could. I mean, that's their party at this point, you know. Like I have washed my fucking hands with them. Like at this point, I'm just trying to figure out how do I keep my friends and family safe from all this bullshit? How do I build community to make sure that we all don't go without? Because that's where we're headed because of his dumb ass.
Well, in the UK, obviously, if we have a leader that the party don't want anymore, like I don't know, Liz Truss, after 44 days, they've got an internal mechanism for getting rid of her. And I was just asking if they have a similar thing in America, because it's up to the party, isn't it? It's not up to the you don't vote directly for the majority leader or the minority leader, do you?
No,
that's chosen by the party. So is it deselection or something? Is there a
let's see.
Is there a process? Because I'm sure that I heard AOC talking about doing this.
Well, she's going to primary his ass if she doesn't run for president.
Yes, I think she will.
I mean, it sounds fucked up, but I think she should be vice president, and then that will make her president of the Senate. And that makes me happy that all those Republican senators are going to have to listen. Going to have her breathing down their neck for 4 years. And then if this whole thing doesn't work out the way that they want to, Walz is the fall guy. She comes in and is like, no, I meant like this. And then she can really win.
That would be good.
I'm not trying to be funny. I thought there was a minimum age you have to be the president.
Yes, it's 35.
Yeah. And is she that old yet?
Yes, she is. She turned 35 last year.
Ah, excuse me.
She's got a good skincare routine.
Literally, I thought she was 25.
Like me.
Very bright lights.
Yeah. Wear glasses. Okay. Big glasses. That's what you want. Right. They can't see you bleed. Then they can't see you age. I need to get like a little toothbrush with some like ginger hair dye on it and start doing me beard, because I've got those little white bits in me beard. Turning into Santa Claus.
Distinguished and handsome. You should keep those.
What?
It's distinguished.
What is a white beard?
Handsome. No, the wispy white
salt and pepper.
Oh, the white bits. Do I look like I've got wisdom to impart, Scott? No. Okay.
Internet talking every day. I guess so.
No, that's just talking. That's not wisdom. No. That's just talking.
No wisdom.
Just content. Content. Imagine if someone climbed a fucking mountain in the Himalayas to talk to me and ask me 3 questions. I'd be so disappointed.
I'd be so mad.
Just get this scouser. What?
No, that's a taste of scouser.
I'm sitting there at the top of the mountain, my legs crossed, wearing a robe.
Sorry, mate. I haven't got anything for you.
Anyway, getting back to Trump, the great grift. The great grift.
I told y'all this was a robbery.
It is an absolute daylight robbery. Trump is, dropping prosecutions of political allies who play ball. The ethics office of the DOJ fired the head of the ethics office, fired without cause. Trump and his allies,
who needs ethics?
Stand to personally benefit from all the relaxed corruption enforcement. So one of the programs that's been gutted is like the Consumer Protection Group, like within the federal government. And it was set up to protect people against corporate malfeasance, corporations taking the piss. And one of the things that's going through at the moment, or was going through, was there were a number of incidents of people driving their cars, sometimes electric, but sometimes not, and these cars just bricking in the middle of the freeway, like in the 3rd, 4th lane of the freeway while they're overtaking someone. Literally all power goes off, the engine stops, and then they have to try and pull over to the side of the road before all the cars behind them smash into the back of them. Obviously, really, really dangerous. And this has happened because there's a mechanism in modern cars that if you're leasing a car and you haven't paid the lease, the leaser, can shut your car down, can brick your car anytime they want. And it's this technology has malfunctioned and caused people who aren't in arrears with payment of anything. It's not supposed to happen while you're driving it. It's supposed to happen when it's in your garage or on your path or outside your house. And this was going.
You better be driving to the bank.
Yeah, well, this is going through.
Money.
This is going through now, and it was. And these car companies were having to pay, and these car leasing companies were having to pay huge sums of money to the people who they'd done this to illegally. And that's all been thrown out now. So anyone who's waiting on a $50,000, $100,000 payment, compensation payment, they're not going to get the money now. They're just simply not going to get it. It's gone. They're not even investigating anymore. That's just one example of many examples.
Is that something that Trump signed like some sort of executive order on?
It's his DOJ.
Ah, right.
Well, there's overlap, isn't there? The consumer protection work, I guess, with DOJ and with other bits of the government, and he's on a mission to gut the government and rob all the money. Medicare and Medicaid are on the way out, and he's just going to take all that tax money for himself. He's going to rob Fort Knox. He's already said he's going to do that, and he's going to go around the world extorting countries like a mob boss, because that's the only way he knows how to run a government. He just runs it like all his companies are run like mob bosses. You know, all the contractors who worked for him over the years, who he never paid, all the people who he stiffed. You know, he's just a monster. He's an absolute fucking monster. And the day that it happens, mate, the day that it happens, I cannot fucking wait. It's all going to be good.
It's unfortunate that these people are going to have to learn this lesson this way, but it is the only, the train's already left the station.
Do you think they're going to learn, though, Mikey?
We begged and pleaded for them to use their brains and don't fall into the racism, but racism was just so sexy and they just had to have the racism. Okay, this is going to be expensive, right? Like there is nothing anyone can do at this point to protect them from the consequences of their own choices. Like I've tried to explain to them a million ways from Sunday. We probably did like 100 shows saying, don't do this. Think about it. Don't do this. No one listen to us. Okay. Well, now we're going into the next phase and it's going to hurt everybody, right? Like, and all the people who are going to these town halls are just the fraction that, got their asses up off the couch, but there isn't going to be a sector of this country that isn't touched by this. Yeah. And isn't affected in a huge way. Yeah. Like we're already having a housing crisis. There's going to be a house and a half built in the next 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, because the lumber and the steel and everything, it's going to be impossible. It's going to be impossible. Like, none of this is good for business. None of this is, none of this is efficient. Like, this is all just bluster and distraction so they can fucking rob you.
Yeah.
This is just about money. They're trying to take shit that doesn't belong to them. Elon doesn't even know what fucking Social Security is. He's Googling the fucking job titles that him and his incel brats are deleting.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what they're doing. But this is why you should have a boring lying politician rather than, I'm going to shake things up. Let's see how it all falls. Okay. It's going to be decades before we fix this shit, but good fucking job.
Yeah. But this is the thing. Corrupt societies always fall. The reason why the Soviet Union collapsed, it wasn't because of the invasion of Afghanistan. It wasn't anything else. It was corruption. That was it. They had all the natural resources in the world. They had some of the top scientists at the time working on space missions, working on all this kind of stuff. Like they had an ironclad hold over the state. They had over 1,000 nuclear warheads at their disposal. But it was corruption. It was corruption at every level. So nothing got done. People were not getting food. Kids weren't getting educated because you needed to bribe everyone. You need to bribe the bloody bus driver to take your kid to school. Then you have to bribe the teacher to actually teach your kids. And because of that, these countries don't grow. And we've seen this time and time again across Asia, across Africa, across South America, Central America, across countries in Europe, where if you have corruption at the very core, nothing improves for people. In fact, it gets to a point where it's absolutely unsustainable. But in America, they seem to be like, oh no, we'll be the one country that books that rule. We're gonna be the one country. No, not you, but I mean the
we didn't make sense.
The MAGA lot. They'll be like, yes, we're gonna be corrupt and we're gonna get away with it. You're like, but it doesn't make any sense. If your country's corrupt, you're gonna have to pay bribes to get anything done. If your country's corrupt, someone's gonna rob all your stuff, and unless you've got money to bribe someone to get it back, you ain't getting it back because the court systems are going to collapse. You want a police officer to come to your house because you've been robbed? System? Good luck, mate.
I mean, what court system?
Yeah, corruption breeds incompetence, says Ernie Burns in the chat. And he's absolutely right. And this thing, Trump isn't draining the swamp this time. He is the swamp. And they said last time it was all, the cruelty is the point. This time the corruption is the point. He knows that one way or another, he's never going to run for president again. He's never got to win another election. He's either going to suspend the elections or he's going to, run off into the sunset with all his money, skipping with his mate Vladimir Putin. And he's just stealing the
that's gonna work.
silver on the way out.
There's no way Putin's gonna totally backstab him and betray him. Like, he's so stupid. He's so stupid. Like, oh yeah, you should do a crypto dump like I did, says the guy who's up for charges. Like he only listens to dumb people.
Yes.
Like, he only listens to people with bad plans that who can influence him by flattery. Like, as long as they like kiss his ass for long enough, he'll be like, okay, you've kissed my ass long enough. Let me hear your plan for America. Okay, this is their plan for America, and this guy likes me, so we're gonna go for it. He's just such a boob, just an utter ruse. Like for someone who's tried to be like this like loan shark kind of character, this hammerhead of business who can just tear through all. He's just the biggest mark. Like, he's the biggest idiot. He falls for literally everything. He has no way of like calculating the results of his action. Like, he's just incapable, just dumb, just all and out dumb.
Well, people fucking love it. People love it.
They're also dumb.
Yeah.
Like, they're dumb. That's why they like him. They feel like he's on their level. Yeah, I bet he does feel like he's on your level because he talks like a 7th grader.
The thing that, I don't know, there's lots of things that bother me, but just the fact that they keep doing things that are quite blatantly corrupt.
Right.
And there's just no pushback. The Fourth Estate is entirely silent. The Democrats have gone AWOL, apart from AOC and Bernie Sanders, honorable mentions. It's
the House Democrats actually did something good, and they all said no cloture, no changing it. This CR bill is bullshit. You guys added a whole bunch of spending to it. No, we're not just doing the one we had 6 months ago. No, not doing it.
Oh, what
and then Chuck Schumer came around and talked to some of his because what it is, it's the moneyed interests. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if the government shuts down, it's going to collapse the stock market. With all the tariff talk and all that other shit, it would just utterly collapse the stock market.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make Chuck Schumer and his donors very happy. They need it open.
Yeah.
I know it sucks for you guys right now, but we need to keep these doors open. Okay. Well, when the general strike shows up and then you just have, 75 million workers just say, fuck you. They will collapse your economy for you. So,
yeah.
If you don't want to shut it down, we'll shut it down.
So Saturday in the UK is going to be Tesla Takedown Day. So if people can make it along to, I'll just read it out. Duke's Road in London. There's a Tesla showroom there. There's one in Leeds on White House Street. There's one in Nottingham on Loughborough Road. There's one in Manchester South, which is on Wellington Road. There's Bristol, 5 Centaurus Road. We've also got Winchester, which is on Eastern Lane. We've got Edinburgh on Clifton Hall Road. And we've got Glasgow on Kennedy Street. So basically, it's most of the Tesla showrooms in the country. So it's London, Leeds, Nottingham, Manchester, Bristol, Winchester, Edinburgh, Glasgow. There's going to be protests going on outside the Tesla dealerships in all those places. If you can get along to one of them on Saturday, we'd love to have you come along. I think it starts at 12. We'll have to get confirmation on that. 11. The last one starts at 11. So yeah, how are the anti-Tesla protests going over in the States, Mikey?
Marjorie Taylor Greene wants them to be investigated as domestic terrorists. Like that's what and between that and the Sean Hannity interview and this whole victimization of the richest person on the planet is just so funny, and it doesn't play well. Like, before,
no one feels sorry for him.
Yeah,
there's not a person on this planet that feels sorry for him.
Before Elon decides to stick the dagger in the left and switch sides, Et tu, Brute. Because all this green energy, renewable, fucking hippie bullshit, that was all Democrat shit, and everybody hated him on the right because he was like, oh, he's making those electric cars. Those suck. They're never gonna be. And now it's like, oh my God, someone's beating up the cars I hate. No, no, no. Like no one gives a shit about his cars or his stock. And the fact that Trump is out there selling cars on the front lawn of the White House, and and what's his face, the Commerce Secretary is talking about everybody should get the stock while it's low and all this. Like that's like in any other universe, both of them are in prison for that.
Yeah.
Or at least impeached in the fuck, like, dude, this is not a showroom floor. You may not use your office to boost the sale of a certain stock.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have a question for Scott, my friend.
Okay.
Are you pretending to be Canadian at the
Why?
moment? If someone asks you, are you saying I've been out of America for a long time? What do you say?
No, no.
Has no one
What
had
are you
a...
talking about?
You know, because people do ask me all the time. Still, 32 years I've been living in this country, and there's barely a day that goes by without someone going, "What was that accent? Are you American?" You know, and as frustrating as it is, but you know, you have to have that same conversation all the time. Anyway, yeah, when I don't hide it. I don't hide it. No, not at
No.
all. You know, I just kind of roll my own eyes. I'm like, people
Yeah.
say to me, because usually the conversation goes, "You're American, yes. Oh wow. Well, how long you been here? 32 years. What brought you here? My mom and dad both English, moved over when I was a teenager. Oh, okay. Would you ever go back? Hell, fucking no.
For what?
Not in a million years. Not right now." And they go, "Why not right now?" And I was like, "Well, have you seen who the president of the United States is?"
But didn't you
And
say?
then they all just kind of go, "Oh, yeah, no, fair enough."
Yeah, fair enough. Did you say that your parents are from Liverpool?
My dad, all
Your
right, so my
dad.
dad was born in Bangor, Wales, but he
Didn't
grew
we
up,
have a lovely time the day we went to Bangor?
he grew up in Liverpool.
Oh wow.
So he had this really messed up Welsh
Have you been?
Scouse accent
Have you been?
to Liverpool.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh, good.
yes.
Why wasn't I
It was only for a
invited?
day. It was only for a day, and I would like to actually spend
Okay,
a little
well,
more time there.
we'll have to have a nice house in Liverpool at some
Oh
point.
yeah, because we didn't get to go and have a night out. I went to that. I did go to that big pub that has those really old toilets.
Oh, the Philharmonic.
Yes, went there.
Yeah,
So
classic.
yeah, yeah. There's pictures
Mikey's
of me.
like, what the? With the
Hell
toilets.
is-
Ram
I
knows-
went the
Ram
pub
knows
with
his
the
toilet.
toilets,
The
and I'm
toilets are
like,
literally like 100
of
years
the
old.
500 pubs in Liverpool, I know the one he's talking about.
I spend a lot of time in the toilet whenever I go out on the town, so
Yeah.
I knew
Toilets-
exactly
the
which one he
The
was
toilets are
talking
Fongs
about.
in Happy
listed.
Days, mate. Step into my office, says the middle-aged
They're
man to the
listed, aren't
teenage
they?
boy.
The toilets in this pub are listed. They
Yes.
cannot be demolished. So,
But they can be pissed on, which is really weird.
yeah, which is crazy. But yeah, so and I did happily. But you know, so yes. But what I would love to do is go to actual Wales, Bangor, or something like that,
Yeah.
just to see it. I've been to Newport. This is the only place in Wales I've been to. So I would like to, I would like to explore Wales a lot more.
Have
And
you seen the Welsh version of Empire State of Mind?
Oh yeah.
They changed the lyrics from New York to Newport.
I'll
have to send that to you. It's very funny.
That.
It's all done with like a proper Welsh,
You
Southern
know
Welsh
what?
accent.
So I went in like 2014, right? And
Yeah.
what shocked me the most, because I am so used
Is
to
this
London.
Wales or Liverpool? Sorry,
I'm talking about Wales right now.
Wales.
The Newport. So we go to this pub in Newport, and me and the friend of mine who was with, we sat there, right? So can we get 2 pints of Guinness, please? So she brings over the 2 pints. She goes, "That's a $5." I said, "It's 2 pints." And she goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I was like,
you live in London, don't you, Scott?
We're moving right now. Yes, I live in London. I was like, are you crazy? Are you serious?
No.
She's like, no, that's how much it costs here.
I will take 10 more, please.
Until Brexit, we could afford to get drunk up north.
It was
Bloody
crazy.
Brexiters from the home counties took that pleasure away from us, the bastards. Anyway, Tim, thank you very much for the first super chat of the show. We got a fiver. We got a fiver off Tim. Thank you very much, Tim. That's very kind of you. Tim pointing out that terrorism is excluded by most insurance policies. Oh, what a shame. This is the joke that basically if they say it's a terrorist attack, if they call the people who are doing it terrorists, they don't get any insurance money.
Yo, and to think that these people are not lighting their own lots on fire. Like we saw this during Black Lives Matter, where all these like auto zones and places were like, and then the protesters came and
they blew up my cars.
They went in the back. They went in the back where all of our stock was, and then they poured gasoline in doors that weren't forced open. It's like, no, you burned your shit down and you tried to blame the protesters. This is insurance fraud. There's like 6 or 7 different businesses that got caught on insurance fraud in St. Louis after the like. You ain't fooling nobody, and the insurance people know what your little plan is, right? Oh, and then first they spray painted the cameras, and then they took Elon's personal flamethrower and burned the insides. It's like, how'd they get in? Huh? Nothing. Like, it's bullshit, bro. If everybody wanted to like destroy your ugly ass cars, they just would. You know what I mean? Your cars go by the grace of God. Because we allow you to have cars on the road, you have cars on the road.
Yeah.
And he's learning, like, people always forget how like the power dynamic works. You only have influence if people say you have influence. That's why he won't show up in public anywhere. Yeah. Why don't you show your face somewhere, Elon? Because you know damn well that you do not want to be anywhere near anywhere near that crowd.
When it literally comes to the whole Elon thing, it's insane. I don't get why other than the purposes of money, we know all this and greed and power, but a South African guy who happens to live in America, why he gives such a it's so weird, the whole thing, like, oh, I care about government efficiency, and it's like, you have never said any of this shit before, and people are buying it, and they're allowing it to happen. It's crazy to me.
He didn't care about government efficiency when he was taking all those SpaceX checks.
No.
You know what I mean? Like when it comes to us spending millions and billions of dollars on stuff, he's the first one to he's the first one to stick his bowl underneath, to say, oh, I'll have some of that. And now he's like, you know what, old people, why do you need heat?
But Tesla is a corrupt company. Like it is a corrupt company to its core. First of all, you've got the fact that Tesla have been lying to their customer base about all kinds of innovations that are never going to happen. They've been lying to their the shareholders. They've been lying to the people that they sold fucking, was it the Tesla Roadster? This was back in, 2018, was it? 2018, the Tesla Roadster. $50,000 deposits, and he got that off 1,000 people.
And he kept it.
He just kept the money, put it in his back pocket, and walked off. And then there's this amazing story that came out last month about the 8,600 Teslas that were sold in Canada over just 3 days from 4 dealerships.
Man, he's a good salesman.
Spike. What could precipitate that massive spike in sales? Was it the fact that the rebate program for EVs in Canada was going to end at the end of those
That's a coincidence, I'm sure.
At the end of those 3 days, and they got this amounted to $43.1 million, which will be paid by the Canadian taxpayer into the private company that is Tesla.
It's funny because
how are they not all in jail?
Yeah, people
welfare queens, if you ask me.
There was a discourse online in regards to, the fact that Tesla are gonna ask Elon Musk to step down. Okay, how long is that taken? Yeah, like the Nazi salute was fine. That was all right. Yeah, the shareholders didn't care about the executives didn't care about that.
They just decided to throw neurodivergent people under the bus, and we're all
yeah,
like, "Hey,
yeah,
I have never done that."
yeah. All the problematic stuff that he's done.
Yeah.
But when they start losing money, oh, maybe we shouldn't have Elon Musk around anymore. It's like,
well,
let's not celebrate this shit. Let's just, this just shows their character, right?
But then there's a lot of corporate malfeasance that's gone on at Tesla. And so maybe it's the fact that if they lose their talisman, if they lose their middleman to Trump, Elon Musk, then then some of them might end up going to jail for what they've allowed to happen on their watch.
I'm just saying that there was talk of removing Musk because they've all lost so much money.
They're all going to jail.
Ernie Burns in the chat mentions that Teslas have the most cameras of any cars. They've been recording people have sex in the cars and sending off the footage to their mates. By the way, if you own a Tesla, mate, don't have sex in the car. Don't go anywhere in the car. Don't do anything in the car.
But
or around the car.
In this country, Tesla is still actually selling cars, right? Well, and I
until this Saturday they are, mate. I've just put the list of all the different showrooms that we're gonna.
They are everywhere. I see them everywhere. Like you can't turn for seeing a Tesla car.
Well, the sales haven't gone down in the UK. They got off the cliff in Germany, 85% down.
Yeah,
because they can spot a Nazi when they see one.
Literally that. Yeah, it usually takes the British a little while to cotton onto it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that thing about the footage, if you go close to a Tesla, it will start to film you.
Really?
So if you're going into the parking space and your car is next to a Tesla and you walk alongside the side of the Tesla, it will film you. It'll film your face. And that gets all uploaded to the cloud without anyone's permission. And then the people who work for Tesla can go, oh, look, there's where Graham is.
I heard some people are like taping up all their cameras. That'd be really bad. Little black electrical tape right over that little lens, and then
there's microphones as well. There's microphones in there.
They can hear me open the tape. I mean, they can hear somebody open the tape.
Yep.
And put it over the camera, rendering it useless.
Yeah. I mean,
their only weakness, tape.
That is just an overstep of corporations. That there's a part of me that just can't quite believe that the same people who go, oh, freedom, freedom all the time and whine on about their liberty, but they're quite happy to be surveilled in a Big Brother-like state because they think that the Big Brother's always going to be run by people who hate trans people like they do. But one day it might not be. It might be run by someone who hates them. It might be run by some people who think that, racism is wrong and they should
be run by trans people.
Dum, dum, dum.
That would be fucking cool. God, but that's such a party.
I'd be all right.
It'd be like RuPaul's drag race every night, wouldn't it? Everyone's just looking fabulous and just having a good time.
Oh my God, that sounds great. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Put the trans people in
I've
charge.
always said RuPaul should be president. I've always said that.
Easy.
Yeah. No.
As we can tell, celebrities are not great leaders.
Yeah, but if there was gonna be a good leader, I would rather, instead of make America great again, I would rather, if you can't love yourself, how can you love anybody else?
Mm-hmm. Well, Mikey, next week, do you reckon we could get
Mikey's like, no, I'm not having this.
No celebrities. I did not stutter. I need to be a fucking normal ass nerd who reads the Constitution before bed every night. I want a boring motherfucker that's gonna enforce the laws.
Mikey, I was just going to ask Ollie in Canada. Do you reckon we could get him on the show again next week because they're having elections, aren't they now? Just been called snap election in Canada, and it's going to be Peter Popolov versus Pierre.
I think that
in Carney
versus
Carney has kind of got this one in the bag. That's why he's called it. The anti-American sentiment is, I think, from what I understand, is so huge.
Well, that's why I want to get Ollie on the show.
Yeah, that I think it's gonna, everyone's just gonna go with,
I mean, we can flip this around.
Go with the people that are working with Trump, you know.
If Canada wants some extra provinces, I think that's a better conversation to be had. Like, you could just take the Midwest, the Upper Midwest, and just absorb us into Canada. We would much rather prefer that. We have money, and anybody who touches the lake, you can join Canada.
Yeah. Lake touchers unite. Alvone is saying Dolly Parton should be president. End of capitals.
Good idea.
And Eddie Burns has just got the best line ever: "Make America fabulous again."
Yes.
It was never fabulous.
Do not true homosexual inflection. Yeah.
I mean, like, I get the sentiment, but let's not, No, we can just co-opt the Sig. No, we can just co-opt the Sig Heil. It doesn't have to be bad. We'll make it fabulous. Don't fabulize the Sig Heil. Make something different.
No one's fabulizing that. Listen,
it's not a president. They're not vandalizing it. It's a Roman car wash.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. A Roman salute. A Roman salute. That doesn't
all of a sudden, everybody knows what terrorism is, but they still can't call a Nazi salute a Nazi salute. Yeah. All right.
But
who am I going to believe? My lion eyes
is standing outside a Tesla dealership.
Everything I don't like is woke.
Yeah. Woke is terrorism.
What a time to be alive.
And they still don't know what woke means. Because black people won't tell them the real reason. Yeah. Black people won't tell them what the real meaning of it is, and we never will. We're just gonna let y'all swing and swing and swing.
I have tried to, on my TikTok, which isn't, huge or anything. I have tried to explain to people what woke is supposed to mean, and I actually get arguments with, people in this country will go, "That's the American definition, not the English definition."
Decency.
And I'm like, no, there's one definition.
Decency.
It's called universally, right? And what you're talking about is being not politically correct, right? That's what the English are talking about, But in America, the meaning is, the awareness of
injustice, systemic injustice.
Systemic injustice, especially against people of color. And when you try to explain that to somebody in this country, it's no, that's the American. It's crazy. It's like, that's how you justify your racism and homophobia, right? Okay, you're going to do the mental gymnastics to justify it, so whatever.
But just swap out the word woke for decency.
Yeah.
So if you're saying you're anti-woke, you're anti-decency. If you say that Florida is where woke goes to die, you're saying Florida is where decency goes to die. And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, you go, actually. Reading about Florida.
But they don't see it like that. They don't see it about decency or anything like that. They see it as... Sorry, I'm a bit tired tonight. They see it as...
Did you do a 3-hour live stream this afternoon?
No, but I didn't get much sleep last night, and I was been into the gym this evening.
Oh my god,
I'm tired.
Oh bless.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying before you started?
You know what? I don't remember. It was a lot of gibberish anyway. It's like, Mikey, can you start talking, please?
All right. That's very adorable definitions of woke.
Right, yeah.
Again, the black people, we know what it means because it's our fucking word.
Oh yes.
And I just listen to what I just listen to
sorry, just to be clear, I wasn't saying that's what it meant. That's what I tell people when they try and argue with me about wokeness. I just say it's decency. Because they don't know that you're going to explain now exactly what it means, but if I tried to explain that to some Trump fan in the UK, I mean, Trump fans in America are deluded, but Trump fans in the UK. But go on.
They don't get it.
I'm not explaining
it. He doesn't want to.
No, I'm not telling y'all. No.
I thought it was referred to
a black secret.
A woke.
Well, it's hardly a black secret. It's on Google.
Yeah, and all the definitions are wrong because they're written by white people. I'm not telling y'all. I'm not going to be the one that cracks the seal. You know what I mean? We have a code.
But then
lose my black card
at some point.
But then the racist whiteys have used that word as a Trojan horse to bring down the whole of America?
Y'all take everything. I mean, we also made rock and roll, but y'all stole that shit too.
Well, to be fair, it was a black invention. That was until Marty McFly went back in time and actually invented it for white people. And
Yes.
he gave it to Chuck Berry.
No, it was a pedophile who made it famous. A white pedophile.
What? Michael J. Fox was a white pedophile? Pedophile?
No. What's his name?
I was making a joke about Back to the Future.
I was kind of making a joke, but it's true. The guy who did Great Balls of Fire. What was his name?
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
Married his niece.
13.
Yeah. When she was 13.
She was 13.
True story.
13-year-olds are so annoying.
Truly horrific story.
Yep. And it was widely accepted across America. Like, it was not that big of a deal at all.
Those are the people who were like at those concerts. They're just grandmas right now. Like, that wasn't all that long ago.
No.
Like, these people are you know what I mean? Or they're in their 70s. Like, these people are still here.
Elvis Presley did too. Was it Priscilla 13?
Something like that.
She was quite young.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Paul said, "I got it, Graham." Lol. Thank you for my Back to the Future joke about
I was there.
The white kid going back in time so we can invent rock and roll. Because black people can't have anything.
Thank God for Marty McFly. And then everyone's like, yeah, Marty McFly did it, remember, in the movie? So your people are a joke. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
Whatever. So you guys keep liking your films if you like.
I very much accept that black people created rock and roll. Like, I'm not stupid. You know what I mean?
But that's the mad thing, isn't it? Like,
that's
so
America.
Much of our culture that people really enjoy is made by minorities, is brought to countries from elsewhere.
Half of the
British national dish is chicken tikka masala.
Yeah.
And
half the things we say comes from gay culture.
Yeah.
Half the English language now comes from a dead gay language.
And Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Who was probably gay. He wrote sonnets to a man, and he talked about,
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, he talked about loving.
I keep it real. My sonnets are rated E for everybody. Everybody can get these sonnets.
But yeah, I mean, you think about so many things in our culture that have come because of minorities and groups and immigrants and the blending together of people one way or another.
I want my fish and chips.
Yeah.
My beggars and mash.
Well, what you have a lot of the times, sorry, I feel like I'm black-splaining this shit here to fucking Mikey. Sorry about this, but like,
I'm not listening when you say stuff like that. You're talking to your audience. It's not to me. I'm not that sensitive.
But like, rap is a really good example. Like, rap was taken over by the Beastie Boys, at least one of whom was privately educated, and then Eminem came along. And to be fair, he did have deprived childhood in Detroit, but he got the international success that black artists that were eluded of. He broke through to the mainstream in the way that a lot of black artists would have loved to have been able to do, but they were the wrong color. He made rap kind of acceptable for white people to like. Oh, I like it now. It's a white guy doing it.
That he was hated. Everybody's parents said you cannot have this album. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that was what made him like pop so hard, was the fact that everyone's mom told them don't listen to this. And they said, well, now I'm listening to it twice as much. How dare you? It was, Eminem definitely has like one of the greatest pens to ever like step into hip hop. I'm not arguing that, but it's
I'm not dissing him at all. I think he's fucking brilliant, but I'm saying that a lot of
But it was a lot of naughty, it was naughty to listen to him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that added on top of it, because this is like right when CDs were kind of like in the price range where you could buy your own and your mom wouldn't have to it wouldn't have to be like a Christmas present or something like that. It was like, finally you can get it with your own cash. So yeah, he became like, I'm going to do it. I bought it. Yeah, I bought it too, man. And then what I mean? There was like a little stroke of rebellion there. And then millions and millions of dollars later.
Ernie Burns, I knew someone would mention Vanilla Ice. Ernie Burns says, so it wasn't Vanilla Ice that invented hip hop. No, it wasn't.
No, it literally wasn't.
I think Ernie's being facetious.
But having been there when it came out, yeah, being a preteen when it came out, yeah, I can tell you now that the only people that liked that song were white people. Black people did not like that song.
Yeah, but it's the thing. Like, if it wasn't for Little Richard and Chuck Berry and that you wouldn't have had the Beatles. The Beatles wouldn't have been a thing. They started doing rock and roll. They started doing rock and roll covers. Twist and Shout was one of their songs.
No.
That was the style back then, though. Is like which covers do you have clearance to play, and then that's where your label would come in, and then you could do all the songs that everybody loves. So everybody's like act was just kind of like how your rendition of the same, radio standards that they're all that everybody's listening to.
Yeah.
But that was, I mean, all the blues and stuff like that, that was all seen as like horribly immoral and like damn near satanic devil worship music because it made your hips gyrate. It's like, no, it's called groove. That's called the rhythm. And they just like we must legislate against this groove. It's like it's all good, man. It's called having good music. I know it's new and scary, but
Kieran has just dropped a super chat in. Thank you so much, Kieran. I was about to wrap up the show, so I'm glad I didn't. Hi. Thank you, Kieran. That's really kind of you. Best not to talk about kneecap, but immigration enriches nations. I absolutely agree. Kneecap are a hip hop band from West Belfast who are very Republican. Yeah, and I think they upset the unionists quite a lot, but let's not go into that. Oliver's saying the Beatles were very influential too. Yeah, I mean, this is it, the cross-pollination of art. Now, I love to give the example of Akira Kurosawa in Japan, because he loved the John Ford westerns. He loved the westerns of the 30s and 40s. He grew up watching them, and then when he got a chance to make movies, he wanted to do westerns, but he wanted to set them in the Far East and have samurais in them instead of cowboys. And then Hollywood took his films like Seven Samurai and Jimbo and turned them into westerns. So it's like this, giving back and forth of culture, which is good as long as it's not cultural appropriation or not giving anyone any credit for the inspiration behind your sound, which I just and also don't be a nepo baby.
Yeah, don't let your parents be successful. Ruin their dreams so that you can
ruin their dreams before you're born. Ernie's saying the Beatles had access to import blues singles being in Liverpool. There you go. Jupp says every single musician learns to play an instrument by repeating what already exists. Music evolves. Absolutely, new things don't happen. Yeah, I guess so.
It's not true. Every song hasn't been made yet.
No.
It's just all about learning to play an instrument. You don't sit down on the piano and then for the first time and whack out some
write a song.
Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like
pianos are the worst drum set I've ever seen in my life. Worse. Your feet, I mean, the pedals don't even do what you would think they would do.
No. One of them makes it quieter.
What is the point of that?
I don't know. Why would you want that? Tim Ballum, £2 super chat. Thank you very much. And Star Wars, yes. Star Wars was heavily based on Akira Kurosawa's Hidden Fortress. Just talked about that on the channel before. Also, there was a movie called Rashomon, and that was heavily influential on The Usual Suspects that Akira Kurosawa made. There's quite a few examples of Akira Kurosawa movies, and Hollywood just went, "Oh my god, this is amazing! Let's remake it in America."
America does that to a lot of, not even just Japanese stuff. They did a lot of British stuff.
But I like Seven Samurai. Seven. Well, I like The Magnificent Seven and Seven Samurai. They're two different movies with the same story. It's not like a straight remake because obviously it's a different setting. Yeah. And I appreciate that much more than a straight remake where they'll take a European film and then America will make a version of it with exactly the same beats, but they'll fuck up the ending or something.
They did it with a lot of the Japanese horror.
The Ring. They remade The Ring.
Made them verbatim.
Naomi Watts.
Jaws.
They remade Jaws? What?
No.
Jaws is brilliant. It is the law of diminishing returns. If you look at the scores on Rotten Tomatoes, it starts off at like 100% for the first one because everyone thinks it's brilliant. The second one is like 66%. The next one's like 33%, and then Jaws 4: The Return is almost like 0% because it's just like such a shit movie. The law of diminishing returns.
Negative 33% for Jaws 5.
In Jaws 4, the shark wants to take revenge on the wife of the guy from the first movie.
I knew I'd find you again.
But how did the shark know the other shark? And they're on the Pacific and they were on the Atlantic, and
So you're saying that there's no way that shark could have got over there? Like that shark can't get a passport like everybody else, go on vacation.
Shark going through the Panama Canal.
Just because you don't take planes doesn't mean the shark can't.
Oh man.
There's canals, you know.
I'm gonna get you for this. Like literally a fish taking revenge. This is it, motherfucker. Not the same fish that was injured by a fisherman earlier in the series, and it's like, yes, you fucked my dorsal fin, you bastard. I'm gonna get you. No.
Different
shark.
They talk.
I think that's dolphins. Isn't that dolphins? I don't think sharks talk.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still working on my slideshow program to train the orcas to take out the billionaire yachts, but it's slow going. But they do it.
They do it, which is fair enough. Anyway, right, I probably should leave it there because we start talking about Trump and kleptomania, and then we just get completely derailed talking about, I don't know, Jaws sequels. Yay! That's what I love about Politics Social. It's like we never stay on target. We don't do what we're told.
Rebellious.
Why should we?
Chris C is telling us that as a pianist, careful how you write that, there are 3 pedals: the sustain pedal, the soft pedal, and the middle one, which apparently is the sostenuto pedal.
Sostenuto.
Does that quietly sustain it? Is that so you don't have to press the 2? Because it's usually 2 pedals, isn't it? But on a big grand piano, you have 3. Is the one in the middle just showing off? It sustains it and makes it softer because it only hits 2 strings instead of 3. I don't know.
Anyway. I only make fun of pianos because I should have learned music theory and everything on piano before I learned all the other instruments I know, because it's so hard to go to piano after you play stringed instruments or after you're a brass player. It's just like, why is everything all backwards? Like it's just everything's just wrong. But apparently they came out first.
Yes. And it's tone, semitone, tone, semitone. So it's like, if you know where the C is, then you can do a scale and then go back down again. Kind of makes sense.
Okay, guys.
Scott's like, fuck this shit.
Scott's leaving.
Scott, thank you.
Tired.
Mikey, thank you. Everyone watching, thank you. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for the super chats. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with Morning Brew. And until then, I'll just say have a really great evening, sweet dreams. And until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Bye, guys.